welcome to another Rock Climber Life video. I am your host, Jeff Stafford, and today we're going to review my first hangboard. This is the So Ill Blister Board. Overall, it's a very good hangboard for the money. This hangboard is kind of focused at a budget-minded hangboard. It's $40, so it's pretty much on the low end. It's probably the cheapest hangboard you can find, actually. But that doesn't mean it's not a good quality hangboard. It just has maybe some less holes, and it's pretty small. As you can see, it's maybe 15 inches wide, so it's actually quite small. That can be a drawback for some people, because some people like their shoulders, when they hang from a hangboard, they like to have their holds shoulder width apart. And in some positions, you won't have this on this board. However, overall, it's a very good board. First of all, how I mounted it. It actually took me a few tries to get this right. First, what I did is we were redoing our house, so I took two pieces of old baseboard and mounted two strips. And then I tried to mount it on that. And that ended up being a problem because the two strips of wood weren't even. They were actually at an angle, so the hangboard would rock, so it didn't work out. So I went and did it the right way. So I got a piece of MDF board. You can use plywood or MDF. I just got the MDF because it was kind of the right size and it looked a little bit easier to work with. It wouldn't have wood chips chipping off and taking chunks out of the board. So I got this, and I got several wood screws, and I put in 6 screws. So I have 6 screws in both sides and in the middle. And then I mounted the So Ill Blister Board. So on to more of the details of the board. On the top part, there's pretty positive jugs. I would say almost 2 knuckles deep, and I have pretty big hands, so probably for a lot of people that'll be a full 2 knuckle deep jug. This is actually the worst hold on the board. It's kind of just like an angle. It doesn't have a rounded edge at all. So if you're going to use a hangboard for pull-ups, which I personally don't recommend because it's going to be narrow and it'll keep your shoulders locked in one position, so it won't let your shoulders rotate at all. It could cause shoulder issues or elbow issues. Anyway, if you're going to do pull-ups or use the big hold a lot, this probably isn't the best board, actually, because this top jug is the worst hold on the board. But now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the rest of the holds. There's 2 deep 4-finger pockets. These are about a digit and a half, or a joint and a half on my fingers. So these are good for kind of starting out the hangboard workout after I've warmed up on the larger top jug. In the center, in the top portion of the board, there's a sloping crimp. So it's kind of a crimp that kind of has a sloping edge to it. That's pretty much the only sloper on this board. You could use this top portion in the middle, but it would be difficult to get two hands on the top of the board. So this sloping crimp is pretty much your only sloper option. In the middle, there's 2 crimps. So these can be kind of middle size 4-finger crimp. That's about a full digit on me, so just the first pad. And then in the center, there's a very small crimp, and this is maybe half of a pad, or maybe even a quarter of a pad. And this is close together, so this can be difficult to use sometimes. On the bottom of the board, there are 2 2-finger pockets, so you can train your index and middle, your middle 2 fingers, or your ring and pinky finger if you want, which I don't know if too many people train those 2 because it's kind of difficult. It ends up being almost a mono. But anyway, so there's the 2-finger pockets, and on the inside of those there's the 2 mono pockets. So actually these are not too deep at all, so they're pretty difficult for 2-finger pockets. They're only about a pad deep for me. Same with the mono. So I would say overall, I'm probably a beginner hangboard. I've just started hangboarding. I've been climbing for a few years, but I've never really trained with a hangboard. So I would say I'm more on the beginner spectrum when it comes to hangboard training. I would say this is a pretty difficult board if you're just starting out. So what I actually use is I use a step ladder to take some weight off. It's not the best solution. I'm going to talk about that in another video when I actually give you a hangboard workout, but it's something to work with. So overall, this is actually a pretty difficult board. I can only hang from the big jugs and the 4-finger pocket for most of a workout without the step ladder. I can hang for a little bit on the biggest crimp, but not long enough to kind of finish the set in the workout. So overall, difficult board, probably not a beginner hangboard. I wouldn't say it's really an advanced hangboard either, probably somewhere in the middle. But overall, it's a good hangboard for the money. Again, it's $40. I got this off Amazon, and I think that's about it. So we're going to wrap this up. This has been Jeff Safford with another Rock Climber Life video. Be sure to check out the blog, rockclimberlife.com, for more. Thanks for watching.